My side. Welcome to the Anfield Effect. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. Drop a like on the video as you start watching. It helps the channel. It is free to subscribe. It is free to drop a like on the video. It helps the channel. I want to say a big thank you to all the 105 subscribers. In fact, I was at what was it, some 70 something between last Friday and to today. I'm 105. I want to thank you and welcome every single one of you, my new subscribers. Thank you for joining the Anfield Effect family. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for the comments. I will respond to every single one of your comments. Yeah, so drop a like, drop your comments in the comment section, and remember, drop a like on the video and subscribe. It is free to subscribe. All right, now you see the title. It proves again why we were right and Craig was right. We are hearing now breaking news that Iraola is the front runner, and I took the liberty to go through and I listened to Sky Sports over the weekend, and I am gonna pick out the facts as to why Slot was fired when he was. I'm gonna pick out the facts that why Iraola is the front runner, and why it was almost a seamless transition for Iraola to come and be a part, or for Iraola to be the Liverpool coach. Stay tuned, guys. This is gonna be good. So, I was listening to Sky Sports, and I pulled out some facts out of what they were saying regarding Slot's dismissal, yes, and regarding how Iraola is now in the picture and is basically, it's like he is simply next in line, without a doubt. Yeah. So it is said that apparently Hughes, being the sporting director, and the discussions that were had at the top level, Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards, they apparently came into a meeting between Thursday and Friday to have a discussion on Arne Slot's future. Now, it was clear that they were thinking of allowing Slot to continue into next year. They were planning that, they were going to, you know. Yes. So on Sky Sports, the pundits that were there were saying, listen, this came as a surprise that all of a sudden they have a change of heart, right? I believe that though they saw all the signs that were pointing, Slot had credit in the bank because he won the Premier League at the first go, right? And so they were willing, you know, to give him a next season, yeah. But we're going to dive in and say why they decided not to. So it was said that it was such a plan to have Slot continue, to the point where even the very coaches that assisted him at Feyenoord, yes, they were willing to stay, to leave Leverkusen to come over. In fact, they actually had a party, a leaving party. You know, when the someone leave and have a party, they had a leaving party for those two coaches who were at Leverkusen. They had a go away party because they were coming over to assist Arne in his next season. But something happened between Friday night and Saturday morning, because Arne Slot, based on what we were told, got the news early Saturday morning that they were no longer going to have him as the head coach for Liverpool team. Yes, it is clear then that the decision came as a surprise to Arne, right? It came as a surprise to Arne, but based on certain things that Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards and the other top guy were looked at, they realized that no, something was wrong. And the truth of the matter is this, and as I get into it, my side, we the supporters, right, and Craig being so strident in his pronouncement, right, pointing out the issues, and we were behind him saying, yes, it's true, right? You want to tell me it took them the very last minute to see what all of us saw? So decision was actually made, between Thursday and Friday, right? And then they call in Anna and tell him, say, listen, it's not going to work. Yes, it was surprising, because it was surprising to hear, as the pundits discuss, that Richard Hughes wasn't a regular at Anfield matches. I gather he probably goes to the ones out, the away matches, but he was not a regular at the Anfield matches. But he came to the match with Chelsea, and he came to the match with Brentford. Yeah, but that was surprising to me to hear that he wasn't a regular at the matches in Anfield. But however, when he came to the match at Brentford and he came to the match at Chelsea, against Chelsea at Anfield, the mood in the stadium was flat, yeah, and basically rotten. This is what the pundit was saying on Sky Sports, that when Richard Hughes went to the stadium to assess what going on at Anfield, right, he felt the mood to be really raucous. Yes, and so they knew from there and then said something it wasn't just the numbers anymore. They had to take a look at the reaction of the fans, because at Anfield, when something is not right, when the game not play right, when the team not attack or play like how they are supposed to play, it is said that you're going to feel it, you're going to hear the mumbling, you're going to hear the talking. And we who are on the other side watching the matches, we know that they'll see them, but we basically echo the same vibe, and because we know how our team play. We know how our team play. So one of the things that even Anna had, and as I said, this was stuff that was being discussed on Sky Sports. That one of the things that Anna had to concede to is that he needed to play more on the front foot, right? And that was one of the points in their discussions prior to him getting the final marching orders. He made a decision that Liverpool style of play, or the play that he was now, bringing to them, had to change to more front-footed attacking ball game. He came to that acknowledgement, and these were things that we the fans have been saying that we're not playing like we used to play. And yet all these other people, yeah, came at Craig and chastised Craig. All the other reporters, yeah, the general reporters, the traditional reporters, they were now saying, you're over exaggerating, and give the man time, and yada yada yada, right? And everything's gonna be alright. And we know it wasn't okay. Things were really bad, and we kept saying it. So when you check, and again the pundits were talking about it, and they said it was kind of a mixed bag, because they were hearing that Anna is going to stay. But when you check the numbers don't stack up, and we have been echoing this through Craig to say, what matrix are you using? What data in Ireland data, right? But what data are you going to use to substantiate your decision for Anna start to continue, right? And as the pundits went through it on Sky, they were saying, look at it, you're losing 19 to 20 matches in a season. The numbers were going in the wrong direction. Yes, the drop off of 20 points to against last season to 60 points. Yeah, the tally coming to 60 points. The numbers were not adding up. Yeah, even the fact that the supporters Arna lost the supporters. I said it to my last video, no other coach got that type of response from the fans at Anfield. The booing, yeah. Even when he took off Ingamoa, he got booed for it. Only to hear he did say in the report that Ingamoa was the one who said, boy, you know, he was feeling the tiredness, right? And so he took him off. But Anfield wouldn't, the fans wouldn't have known that, because we were saying, you know, you weren't playing Ingamoa enough. You're playing Cody over and over, and you have Ingamoa on the bench. That didn't make any sense. So the pundits also mentioned that Paul Joyce wrote a piece, and in that piece he said that is used when he went to the match at Anfield. He saw a club divided, and it was a rapid divide. What? How is it that we on the socials are saying these things? You saw a 7 million sign on, right, to a petition from the Liverpool fans, and somewhere in your mind you are still saying we're going to stick with Arna, we're going to stick with Arna. I think over time they had to stop and listen to us as the fans. We're happy he did, because at the end of the day, you know, the decision is still to be made by the hierarchy of the club. But it shows that fan power is still real. I never thought Liverpool would have gotten to the point where we had to literally hold our owners by the scruff of the neck and say, listen, this man not working out, it's not working out. But we had to do it, and we did. Yes? So the other things that were not stacking up, the poor decision regarding Gay and others in terms of the transfer, right? How did we knew that Kanate's contract was in the balance, right? So why did we not secure Gay from that time when we know we could have? Why didn't we do what we had to do, right? So all of those things were adding up. The fact that the points tally was dropped off, yeah. Arna lost the fans, yes. The transfers were going bad. Everything, all the matrix that you could use to make a decision were looking bad. One of the pundits says Liverpool are a team that has to win, right? And you cannot get away with 2 months without a win at Anfield. How? There's no way it was going to be possible. So the voices of the fans were heard, had to be heard, and used physically to be there to see what was happening and to listen what was happening, and it was really bad. So we are thankful, you know, right, that the move and the decision making by Fenway, yes, FSG, has been brilliant, in the sense that how we make our decisions to buy players and so forth. It was just, to me, we felt like we were after elite, because we don't make a lot of noise. We just, our management just see who we want, target it, bam, go in, and we get them. When you look at all that has been happening with the coach, all the decision making, all the players' response, in fact, he has even lost the confidence. He had even lost the confidence of the players, right? We saw players on the field not looking like they don't know what they are doing. Maka looked lost. Gravenberch, who last year was operating as like a proper 6, right? Gravenberch this year just looked lost. In fact, it was so easy for every team to run through our midfield, because what Slot was doing was trying to be more move to a more tactical type of ball possession, rather than we running at teams and running them to the ground, right? This was a team that already knew how to do that, so he was not trying to turn the team in a different way. You're gonna have chaos. The pundits on Sky said they see this as a justifiable dismissal. We, the fans, saw it long time. Craig saw it long time, and he has been saying it. And Craig, you have all right to bash anybody. You have all right to stand up and speak and say, listen, all of you just step aside. All of you just step aside. And the traditional media, as Craig said, that they came at him because why? YouTubers are now taking bread from them. But the truth is, there's bread for everybody. And your credibility is at stake. If you are going to look at the fans and tell the fans rubbish, right? And then a YouTuber who has no affiliation, no big budget to hold on to, no regulations from a source to say, okay, this is how you have to operate. He's gonna speak the truth. But what if you decided to speak the truth as it is then? Your credibility would have been up there, right? So the truth is, this was a justifiable decision to let go on a slot, and it's just sad for us that it took used management overall this long to see what we saw long time ago. So Arnott got the message early Saturday morning that he no longer will be the coach of Liverpool team. He will no longer be the coach early Saturday morning. Yes, he got his marching orders. One of the things that the pundits also brought up was that though he, unlike Klopp, who would after a match or whatever, I just call the boys out to go and have a drink. Slot didn't do that. Yeah, to go and just chill and just reason them on them. Slot did not get close enough to the players. That was what the pundits were also saying. He did not get close enough to the players. Yeah. But one thing we cannot deny, he handled Jota's situation well, very well. He handled it with care, with sensitivity, and he handled it with the dignity that it deserved. So as a man, as Arnott the man, we respect that, we appreciate him. Yeah, we thought he was a consummate professional as a man and how he handled that situation. Right? But as the coach, yeah, he blundered, and he blundered big time. So hats off to him, for winning the Premier League in his first season. We are going to be eternally grateful. In fact, he's going to go down in history as the one who won our 20th trophy, coming alongside Man U 2020. He'll forever be remembered for that. But we knew that overall, he would not be the one. He could not have been the one to take us forward. But fast forward now to Iraola. Did you know, guys, that it was Richard Hughes when he was at Bournemouth? He was the one who turned to the Bournemouth leaders and said, listen, Iraola is a coach that can take us to the next level. Watch the links down at my side. Watch the links. Iraola is the man to take us to the next level. That's what Richard Hughes told the management, the owners, when he was at Bournemouth for a little stint. Because remember, when he was with us, right, on a Klopp, but Klopp was a manager. Klopp was the coach. Then Richard Hughes left and went to Bournemouth, and it was while he was at Bournemouth that he spotted Iraola and made the suggestion to Bournemouth management to bring Iraola in, because Iraola is the coach to take them to the next level. Yes, he just said that Iraola favored chaos over order, or Klopp over Pep. That was the comparison. Klopp brought chaos on the field, and that's what we Liverpool supporters enjoy. That's what we know. That's what makes us excited to watch our team play. The chaos that is created on the pitch by the players, yes, versus Pep, who plays an orderly game, tick-tock, knock on here, knock on here, knock on there. Iraola was more likened to Klopp, because Iraola played the same type of football that Klopp played. Energy, hard running, attacking football. So now you're seeing the link, my side, that Iraola was identified by Hughes. Yes? By Richard Hughes. And so it is no mistake now that Hughes being the sporting director again at Liverpool, that the link is now being made. And this is why we believe strongly, we probably can say we know that Iraola will be Liverpool's next coach. Now there's talk about saying that boy Iraola might be given a little bit more responsibility than just being the head coach. Well, that is left to be seen. But I will not bank on that, because it is clear that Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards, they love power. You can see that unequivocally, that they love the power. So the pundits also we're saying that it is unequivocally clear that the owners at FSG probably had another meeting with Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards, because yes, they probably thought, let's give Arna another chance. But when the owners probably stop and look and say, listen, Arsenal now, well, Pep is gone, right? And Pep leaving gives the Premier League a level playing field. And if Arsenal are going to be strengthening, right? Xabi Alonso already went to Chelsea, which again brings up the fact that they are getting a very good coach, which would now tactically change how they play, and they may not become a better team. Man United, yes, they have Carrick and they have done pretty well. None of us saw Man U coming up to that level. None of us saw if they had stuck with their previous coach. Yes, probably not doing in the 15-17 again. None of us saw Man U coming that high. So it is clear that FSG said, if Chelsea strengthen, Xavi gone to Chelsea, right? Man U are going good with Carrick, then we have to do something. Because listen, Liverpool supporters are expecting trophies. We don't just want to compete and say, okay, we just want Champions League spot every year. We just want a Champions League spot. No, we want trophies. And not only trophies, we want to see our team play football like we really, it's an exciting, it should always be an exciting time to watch Liverpool. And we always want to see our team play good. Even if we lose, we must play with an identity. And it is clear that Iraola, being the man he is going to bring back that identity to Liverpool. So we were told, guys, that in the same Sky Sports conversation, that Xavi Alonso and Iraola share the same agent. Xavi and Iraola share the same agent. So all the discussions that Xavi would have had with Liverpool, Iraola would have been privy to. Right? And it is clear that Xavi would not have gone to Liverpool, because Xavi was not intending to just be a coach or a head coach. Xavi wanted to be a manager, which would mean just a similar situation with Klopp. Xavi would have that same amount of power, same amount of decision making. But because of the structure that FSG has now with Richard Hughes and Mark Edwards, it would not have fly. Yes? So it is clear that all the pieces were coming together to make Iraola the man. Now it is clear that all the things that they put together, FSG head and sporting directors and whatever, they realize that all that the fans are saying and were saying was right. One, and two, it is clear that the support for Arna would not be there. And if the fans are not supporting the coach, if the fans are not supporting the club, then you're going to see a drop in revenue. And that's where Fenway, I believe, realized, no man, this is going to affect us in the future now. So yes, Arna Slot was actually, they were planning to keep him, but the decision to remove him came after the analysis. But the analysis was clear. We as supporters already made the analysis and was saying to them, listen, it has to be different. So my side, this is why we know Iraola will be Liverpool's next coach. And Craig again was right. And all of us, we were all right that we weren't seeing the football we know. Arna wasn't making the right decisions, and it would not work. We would have wasted more money, would have got more players in, but the style that Arna and the structure that Arna has would not work. And so my side, leave your thoughts in the comments. This is the analysis that we bring here at the Anfield Effect, and it is clear that Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards felt the Anfield Effect. You like that one? That one was good. Anyway, drop a like on the video, leave your thoughts in the comment section, subscribe if you're new. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers. Again, Craig, big up yourself at Anfield Agenda, big up yourself my side. See you in the next one.